not drinking away.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Bobby Anderson.
Bobby.
Nice to meet
Y'all already home?
We all just came in and sat down.
Okay. Well, the Commissioners Court will meet in the workshop session June 6, 1:30 in the County Administration Building. First item is a call to order. The second is the FY 23-24 budget discussions regarding insurance premiums and contributions. Brenda, you want to take the lead? Who's doing?
Say thank you all for having us today. Good to see you all again.
Could you speak into the microphone?
Yes, ma'am. And welcome the new commissioners. So again, I'm Brenda. This is Bobby. We're going to walk through today your experience, how the plan's running, and then we're going to get to what everybody's waiting for, unveil the curtain of what the budget's going to look like for 2024. And with that said.
Thanks for everybody's time today. Again, Bobby Anderson with USI. We're going to discuss here the experience dashboard, and we're going to look at the budget for 2022. Initial budget for 2022 was $18.3 million. Ended up running at a net cost of 16.5, which is a 90% position to budget, and your cost on a PEPY basis per employee per year was $16,864. When we look over to the right-hand side, April year-to-date, our budget is $6.278 million. Net cost is 5.16, which we're trending about 6% less on the delta from 2022. In position to budget is 82%, and our PEPY per employee per year cost is $15,688. Claims are trending at minus 5% right now. In 2022 was 13.6 million. And through April, we're $4.3 million. Net claims on a PEPY, it was 13,947, and it's 13,169, which is 6% less on a delta from 2022. Our average employee count in 2022 was 980 employees, and year-to-date, we're roughly 888 employees. On a large claim standpoint for 2022, we had 22 large claims at $5.58 million. 9 of those claims were over the individual stop loss of $200,000 at $1.793 million. Year to date through April, we have 9 claimants, $1.3 million, and 2 are over the individual stop loss, and the reimbursements have been $89,000. On the left-hand side, the bottom left-hand side is just month over month from January 23 through April 23. It shows your budget versus net cost. The blue would be the budget, and then the black would be the net cost. As you can see how it stacks. The plan is running very favorable compared to a budget standpoint. Historical budget, when we look back to 2021, on a PEPY basis per employee per year, in 2021, the budget was set at 17,956. We ran at 16,469. And 2022, our budget was 18,719, and our plan ran at 16,854. And then year-to-date through April, our budget was 19,065. And we are running at 15,688. 76% of your, 26% of your total claims are large claims. So total claims greater than $100,000. 26% of your claims are greater than $100,000.
Bobby, is that year-to-date calendar or year-to-date fiscal?
On the right-hand side, ma'am.
Yeah, using April 23, is that fiscal year, which would be 6 months, or is it
Year-to-date calendar year.
calendar year? Okay, thank you.
When we look at the claims experience, this is the claims experience broken out on a monthly basis. I'll start from the left-hand side and work my way to the right-hand side. As you can see, we look at total number of employees by month, total members, that's total belly buttons on the plan, your administration fee, your stop loss fee, and then your total fixed costs. So when we aggregate those together on total fixed costs through April, you've spent $829,000. Your medical claims on a gross basis does not include any stop-loss reimbursements is $3.2 million. RX claims are $2,024,000. We've had $900,000 in stop-loss claims. Some of those claims contribute to claims that occurred last year that were paid in the 2023 plan year. Claimants this year over the individual stop-loss is $89,000, and then your total net claims is $4.336 million. Again, budget 6.2, and then net cost is $5.166 million. Employee contributions, we use the wellness rates for your plan is $852,000. Employer expense is $4.48 million, and the plan is paying 87% of the cost, and the county has a surplus of roughly $1.12 million. And in 2022 cost summary, I'm going to focus on the bottom. We had a surplus of $1.817 million compared to budget on the healthcare plan. We're going to jump to page 6. This looks at an annualized basis. Go back. It's all right. It's just reiterating the same thing that was on the current dashboard. Again, in 2021, your per employee per year cost $17,956. Budget was $16,469. We ran at $16,469. 2022 per employee per year cost is $18,719 on a PEPY. Our cost was $16,864. And then annualized, when we look on an annualized basis, 2023, $19,065. We're projected to run about $15,688 on a PEPY basis. Currently, we're trending about 7% below what we ran last year. If you look at the bottom right and we annualize the data, claims are trended at a minus 7% compared to last year. This is the enrollment by member type. We break it out: employee family, employee child or children, employee spouse, employee family. And then you can see on the bottom left-hand chart is that the prior year versus the current year. We had 609 employees in the prior year, and currently we're averaging 618. Employee spouses we had 116, and then we're 111. Employee children were 176, and now we're 180, and the family has stayed consistent on a year-over-year basis. Your plan makes up 63% of the employee population on the plan is employee-only coverage, and then employee spouse is 11%, employee children is 18%, and then employee family is 8%. A trend, looking at multi-year trend to show you how the claims are running on a per employee per year basis. As you can see, the orange line, we are using the Siegel trend study. What trend is? Trend's about 7.5% a year for drugs in RX, and the blue line represents Brazos County. As you can see, your claims have been trending favorably compared to national trend on a year-over-year basis. When looking at large claims for 2023, we have a total of 9 claimants, as I mentioned, $1.368 million, and we have year-to-date $89,000 over the individual stop-loss, and then we have the diagnosis on the right-hand side as well.
This claimant number 6 is no longer on the plan.
Would you mind going back to the prior page and the prescription costs?
Prior page.
This page or the?
Prior page.
So we're looking at our total per employee up top, and but our prescriptions are running on an average of about, what, 8%?
Is it this page you're on?
Yes,
Okay.
on the very bottom line. It says trended costs prescription.
Oh, 7.5?
Yeah. So
That's, oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. Yeah, and on the trended costs, I guess, okay, the trended costs are the orange line above, and that's showing, but I didn't see a breakout for our, maybe I missed something here, but this is the first time I've looked at this. The trended costs were broken out by medical and prescription. And then, but I don't see that for actual costs. Am I missing something?
We did not include prescriptions broken out. We're showing an aggregate of your medical and RX claims in these reports.
Okay.
On your trend here.
So there's not the same, so there's not the same distinctions being made.
No, what that's showing you down there at the bottom is how we are blending the trend.
Right.
So we're using 80% of medical and 20% of RX to come up with the 8.5 or the 7.3 and the 9 and then the 7.5 down there at the bottom.
Okay. But we don't have that data for actual costs for us.
No, sir, I do
Okay.
not have the claims trended by RX. I have them aggregated, the medical and RX combined.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
Oh, I was a little bit lost there. I was looking for a column. I was looking for a column that didn't exist.
2023 okay, so now we're gonna move into the dental experience. The dental experience is self-funded. Employees pay 100% of this cost. And we're gonna look at the 2023 cost summary for dental. Similar to the report we saw with the claims is you can see the budget is in the light blue and then actual is in the black or gray. And then if we look down at the bottom, this is by month, so you can see that roughly anywhere between 916 employees to 927 employees. We talked about the administration fee and then the dental claims. And then the cost broken out on a PEPY basis. And then we look at the budget is set at $198,000 and the actual expense is $193,000. Again, the employees pay roughly 100% of the cost, so we're looking at a surplus, right? A surplus of roughly $5,450 on the dental program for the year. And then when we look at the 2022 cost summary for dental, we had a $56,000 surplus for the claims, for the cost of the dental. On the good news is when we look at the medical and RX projection, through our underwriters and through evaluating your claims experience, we are projecting your budget to go down by minus 9.4% for the 2024 plan year. Oh, in the 2024 renewal projection, this is the contributions and our recommendation on a budget. Our recommendation is to keep the contributions the same, and we're using the wellness rates in these contributions. As you can see, employee only $63, employee plus spouse $511, employee plus children $339, employee plus family $711, which represents a total annual contribution of roughly $2.562 million. And then on a budget, we're using an accrual basis, and this does not include employee contributions here, is $1373 on an accrual basis for employee spouse, employee child, employee only, employee spouse, employee child, employee family, which represents $16.294 million. On the dental projection, we're recommending on an increase where the way the claims are trending, we project the claims are going to run about 3.3% lower next year, based off the underwriting on that. And again, our recommendation is to keep the rates the same for the dental program for 2024 plan year, which is $599,000.
Are there any questions, or anybody like to have a refresher on what happened last year? No? Yeah, we were at a minus 9.6 last year, but we opted to increase the budget anyway by 3%. So, it was minus 3. No, we plus 3, I'm sorry. We did a plus 3 last year to the budget.
Katie, we need to hear your comments.
Wandering around looking for a mic. I thought our experience last year was down 12%, not 9.
Your budget was down minus 9.6% last year.
Didn't hear the budget word. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
Don't be shy.
I feel like raising my glass, which I didn't bring with me, and saying to our health.
Yeah.
I will tell you that
These are particularly when we see that contrast versus national trend.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
I hope that it continues to. I hope it continues to run the way it is, but unfortunately, I see health costs always going the other way. So if we can get 2 good years, hopefully we get a small increase next year, right? So I've been doing it for 26 years, and you can bring good news, and then you get that 1 year that's bad news, and you gotta.
Well, we're hoping for at least 3 in a row.
No pressure, Bobby.
None.
Keep your
I'll-
your employees active.
I will take that trend from 16 to 19 for sure.
Yeah.
I will take our numbers from 16 to 19 for sure. And it looks like we're actually exceeding that as far as our claiming experience goes. So
There was, I don't know if everybody has a copy, but there's some benchmark data.
We want to look at the national benchmarking regarding our plan versus everyone else's plan that has something similar to us in the U.S. And so they provided this information, which is in your packet as well. It's not in the binding packet, but the court has it. We wanted them to go, we wanted USI to go over that information just so we can look to see where we're standing as in the nation.
Specific to just the contributions or
The contributions.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, okay, but we don't have that data here.
It's the last page in your packet.
Okay.
In the paper. It's not in the binded copies. It's going to be in the,
Oh, the handouts?
It's the last page of the handout.
yes, last page.
Just that one page that you were just on, the benchmark.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
So we broken this out a couple ways, and one of the things is that we have medical, and then we have medical with wellness, right? So as you know, that your employees receive a discount on the cost that they participate in a wellness program. They have to meet certain criteria, and then they get a discount on their medical program. So if you are not in the wellness program, the employee rate is $138. The employee family rate is $786. If you participate in the medical program, if you participate in the wellness program, your contribution drops to $63 and $711. If we look at county government, and this is benchmark data, as you can see, their contributions, these are their wellness rates too, so just make sure we're comparing apples to apples, is theirs is $76 and $490 for family. $76 for employee and $490. And then if we look at groups over 1,000 lives, it's 150, and then 603, and then the Southwest is 151 and 896.
Okay, so you're saying
Bobby?
the county government numbers that you're showing there are with wellness?
Yes, sir, they are with
Okay,
wellness.
So that'd be comparable to our
Yes, sir.
Okay.
with wellness numbers.
Okay, looking at the employee payroll contributions, I mean, it's $215 more.
Yes, ma'am.
How do we account for that, the difference between other counties and our?
How do you account for it?
Yeah, I mean, why are we that much higher?
We knew that question was going to come up regarding how do we compare with other counties. And so along with your packet, that was the little handouts. I went ahead and pulled Jennifer and I pulled some other information from different counties and their plans versus what the employer contributes versus employee contributions. And so there's several different plans. We could not compare it apple to apples, but I wanted to see what the percentage was that is covered by the county versus the employee. And so in the packet that looks like,
This one?
This one?
yes, that one.
Yeah, I was curious. Okay, so what does the data that's on the benchmarking table 6 handout that says Southwest, what constitutes Southwest? Because I know that you're trying to break us down into a market that's specific to our location, but what constitutes that number for Southwest?
Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico, and Oklahoma.
Okay. Thanks. And with that regard, we're a lot closer.
And this is
to the county government overall.
yes, sir. And
Okay.
and this is a median report, so there's obviously going to be people who are a lot higher and a lot lower in this. And there's obviously all different size counties associated in this benchmark data too. The second sheet that was just handed out, I think that would be probably a more comparable sheet for us to review. My question for you, is this on a per employee per year? So when I look at the Aetna PPO plan, it's showing the cost per employee is $19,500. I'm assuming that would be on an
Per year.
Per year. Okay. Yeah. So I don't have a calculator.
And of course, each county has all these different plans, and so, but I wanted to see the percentage, especially from the employee versus the employer costs, because that's how we budget. We budget by employee. We don't budget by the family or the spouse or the children. And so it's nice to see what everyone else is doing. There's a lot of different plans out there.
Well, this is very helpful, thanks, Nina.
Yeah, and
And thank you for
okay,
doing
so
this.
the one that's not self-funded is the Johnson County data.
I could not find it. I emailed them this morning to get some information from them, and they haven't responded. I also sent several other counties
Okay.
information, and still waiting. I think it's a good thing to keep up every single year, So just to see what we're doing.
And I can tell you Johnson is just now becoming self-funded. I got a phone call on how to do it the other day.
Oh, there you go.
So that's
Oh.
why.
Okay.
So most of the counties on employee family are pretty close to you. Just quick math.
Thank you.
Does the court have any questions or concerns, or this is you're quiet, so it's kind of
It's a lot of data.
So our
It's a
plan-
lot
Drink it from a fire hose.
it's a
So
lot
our
of
plan is
data
to
here,
keep
man.
the
I'm-
premiums the
I'm-
same.
I think that Kenny and I are going to recommend in the draft to leave the county contributions the same for FY 2024. We could go ahead and ask for additional information another 2 months as we're progressing into the budgeting process to get additional numbers or updated numbers, if you like, just to see what they look like in July, because we'll add May and June if we request it in August.
Yeah, okay, I'm kind of familiar with what it is per percent for our compensation plus benefits. I'm not familiar with that same, the graphic that you gave us on the percentages of increase. I'm not sure how that looks on medical
On the medical
contributions.
side,
Yeah, what it costs the county for,
as a whole,
yeah. Yeah, well, we had that spreadsheet when we were looking at how to build the budget for the year based on our COLA. Remember that one?
is it this one?
Yeah, well, the one we had this year that you gave to us before we talked about what we were going to establish the COLA for as far as building the budget goes.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
and I'm familiar with that, but I'm not familiar with where that is relative to our percentage contributions as far as actual cost, total gross cost to the county.
I will have to, I can send you that information, I'll have it in.
Okay, I'm sure it's I'm sure it's a small amount on a relative basis, but the 3.5% that we did last year, we had great experience, and the year before that we had great experience relative to that, but keeping it at 3.5 and
Right.
an average of 7.
And we wanted to keep it, we wanted to increase because we were worried that we were gonna have bad experience the next couple of years due to COVID and due to everything, starting to increase, which our projections were wrong last year, and so this will allow us to help cover the costs when it starts to increase as well.
Right. And I think, and what we've done, we've made budget amendments to fund the OPEB with money that we'd had in excess of what was required for our health plan. It's kind of been what we've done in the past, and I guess my question is where are we on an actuarial accounting as far as where the OPEB is, and do we need to, that would go into my consideration as to whether or not we do 4%, 3.5%, or the average of 7%, thinking about that. But I don't know what the actuarial data looks like on our OPEB.
We're nowhere near funded on OPEB.
We've only done it a couple handfuls
They
of
couldn't
years.
even tell us when it was gonna end yet.
Okay.
I would recommend two scenarios, and we can choose, is I would recommend a 3% increase to the budget as protection, or wait 2 months and see what the claims do. Because the problem is if July claims, if I wait June, July, I won't have July claims until August. So I don't know what the deadline is to submit the budget. I would do one of those two things, is wait or just go ahead and give a 3% increase as a buffer. 9% scares me, but I think worst case scenario when we start talking about claims experience, because I've seen it go the other way pretty quick.
Well, obviously, if you look at the graph that's up there now, the volatility on that one is telling you something.
Yeah, and if we gave a 3.5% last year and we give another 3.5% and we have a 10% increase, the move next year is not going to be as big if we go ahead and bump that budget just a little bit. More of a margin, I guess you could say, in your program, just to protect us from the possibility of the following year could be worse.
But at the end of the year, with the funds that are in excess on this, typically we have allocated those funds toward the OPEB, correct?
No.
Okay.
Talking about excess on health and life
Yes.
to OPEB? No.
Okay.
No, it's been property tax allocated to OPEB, in addition to what we set aside for health and life.
Okay, so what happens to our, where does our surplus go?
We use it. There's no surplus.
Okay.
If there's any surplus in health and life, it stays there for the next year's experience.
Okay, so we retain it.
We
Yes.
retain it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thanks for clarifying that, because I was under the assumption that we had used excess life and health to
No,
fund OPEB.
no.
For FY '21, we actually ran out of fund balance to help cover. And then FY '22, we started gaining a little fund balance, just in case, because our retirement costs were, was it 21 we did zero funding? And then 22, we had a little bit of fund balance, and then 23, we had a little bit of fund balance. But it's not a plethora of it. I think it's
Okay.
like 1 million.
So we'll have a conversation in the budget about our OPEB and our funding on it as a
Yes.
part of the
Yes,
presentation.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if our average is 7%, I think it's prudent to do the 3 to do half that.
We'll probably base it on, this is a workshop, so you can't make a decision today. We will look at the experience for June and, well, for May.
May.
May
Yes,
and
ma'am.
June. We'll look at it in July. We can propose the budget on or about August 29th.
Okay.
So, we'll see what our experience is for May and June. If it's about the same, we will figure out what we want to do. I do not anticipate going up on employee share,
Correct.
in case that's needs to know.
Yeah. Any further thoughts on what we think would be appropriate to do for wellness? I know that we instituted and we ratcheted that up. Any further guidance that we have on that?
$15 last year.
Right. So I was just curious if that's where we're headed as well.
Leaving it, I think the three of us pretty much agree. If we
Okay.
could have kind of a rate pass for the year, including with wellness, that would be good. I know HR's goal is to increase the wellness rewards program, add additional things in there to help those live a little healthier lifestyle.
Okay.
Just as we're having this conversation, one thing I wanted to include was during the pandemic, so many procedures, follow-ups, things were put off. The hospitals here in Bryan and College Station have not seen the numbers coming back for those elective procedures nearly at the number that were canceled. And I got to repeat that. That means that we have a lot of people that have not followed up on potential chronic illnesses and disease. As a result, I mean, here we're in 2023, they still haven't followed up on those elective procedures that were canceled in 2020 and 2021. So the idea of a 3.5% in lieu of a potential scare for 9 next year, that's certainly something and we can look at the 2 months data that we will be looking at during budget cycle and make decisions. But I do worry that we might get a surprise if those come back, yeah. Or worse, if they don't come back and someone didn't follow up with an elective procedure and then they're diagnosed with stage 3 cancer that they perhaps could have had an earlier jump on, and now they're, God help them with their own health, but as far as dollars and cents go to the county, that would be then a much more expensive patient to treat. So these are just things I'd love us to keep in mind. If you talk to your hospital C-suites here, they'll tell you that's a fact.
It's great data. It's a very good data, good data point.
All right. Do we have anything else? Thank y'all for coming up.
Bobby,
you.
Brenda, thank you both.
Bobby, Brenda, thank you.
Thanks for putting that together too. Very much.
Next item is to adjourn. Thank you.